Happy Thursday, people. It is Therapy Thursday, and I am happy today. I'm excited. I cannot wait to share this wonderful healing conversation with you. I am so happy. I am asking all of you something I don't do often, which is share the live.
I'm
Share
not.
the live.
I'm looking for the live on your page now, on your accounts. It's on
That's
your
right.
account, right?
Share the live. Share the
Awesome. There it is. There it is.
live. Come on in. It is Therapy Thursday. Come on in. Come on in and share the live as you come in. Share the live.
Share
You
the
all
live
know
as
me.
you.
I'm Dr. Triffy. Share the live. Share the live. I'm Dr. Triffy. I am a licensed psychologist in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a licensed professional counselor and a clinical hypnotherapist. Look, I live in Atlanta, but you hear this beautiful accent every chance I get. I can't wait to share with anybody who's willing to listen that I am from the lovely island of Dominica in the Caribbean, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. We love them, but we're further south. All right. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, we have a powerful, powerful, powerful topic. And I want to say a lovely, 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 heartfelt welcome to our guest tonight. We're having, like I said, a wonderful healing conversation about how to use movement and rhythm to recalibrate your mind, your body, and your spirit. So, lovely lady, welcome. And will you please introduce yourself to us?
Well, thank you for having me on, and good evening to your listeners and viewers. My name is Carla Ormo, and as you can hear from my accent, I am also from the beautiful nature island of Dominica.
That's right, that's right,
And
that's
I
right.
am actually in Dominica right now. And so a lot of people know me having been in the hospitality and tourism industries for many years of my life, but they also may know me for having been in health and fitness and wellness for many years since the 80s. I'm aging myself here. And then I'm also a mindset and movement coach and an artist. So I bring
Mm.
everything that I am together as far as experience curation and really thinking of something before somebody thinks they want something. So really
Mhm.
understanding people's desires and needs. That comes from years in a hospitality environment. And then with your further training in personal training and life coaching and all the different areas of Pilates and mindset work that I have done, it just sort of has built up to that. To what I do today.
Wonderful.
Yes, so it's really juicy stuff. I work with some really, really delicious. I love to use that word delicious because I like to feel it in your whole self, when you work with me. And yeah, so that's who I am.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. No, I have a thing about names, particularly last names. So for me, my last name is Wallace. So I do this thing where I'm like, okay, Wall Ace. What does that say about me? Your last name is Armor. How do you say it? And how is your personality like your last name?
My personality, like my last name, actually, it's interesting that you ask. And this is a very interesting topic, right? Because we all have our journeys that we have gone through in life. And basically, my armor, which is a suit of armor that you go into war with, is something that, well, big share here, is something that I have worn for many years. And I think it comes into living in a small society, living in a place where we know people talk about things and they always have something to say about somebody. And also living in a big family and in the birth order that one falls in, sometimes you sort of have to be, you know, vying for your space.
Mm-hmm.
Not in anything negative, but just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Many studies have been done on that. Um,
Mhm.
and so for a long time, I think I held in this sort of armor, a suit of armor. But in more recent years, as I've been working more as a well-being coach and really deeply into my Pilates work, which I come from a very deep breath and spiritual point of view with, I have realized that that suit of armor can really be the knight in shining armor.
Mm.
So instead of being as a protection, then I can come and understand what other people go through. And not that I'm your knight in shining armor, because I'm not there to save people. People have to save themselves, but I'm here
Mhm.
to support people and to help them to demarcate their boundaries or to move some aside, to meander and navigate maybe new concepts.
Mhm.
And I think I can work well with people. I do work well with people because I have so many different backgrounds that I can pull from, and I've worked with so many different people in so many realms, so I feel that that is my strong point that I bring on. So it's sort
Mm.
of the knight in shining armor. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not
So
love.
tell
It has an R, so it's not the French love.
I was about to
Say that.
ask. Yes, I was about to ask because that was my first thought, right? With the armor, right? One could
Yes,
say amour, like, right? Like
yes.
French. Yeah, to love. Yeah,
So with
yeah.
the Dominican accent, we say it like love, but
Yes,
it's actually with the R in there, it's more like, but you can call me
protection.
love. You can call me Colin
That-
Love if you
That's
want.
that's right. That's right. I
Unlovable, I
love
hope.
you are. You are. I love that that you just gave, about armor being like, okay, yes, there is the strength, piece of it, yourself, like, how do I protect myself? How do I get stronger? And then also now in your journey as a healer, how do I teach other people? How do I model? How do I show them? Yeah, I can show you the way. Like you say, I'm not necessarily here to rescue you, but I can invite you to a different path
Mhm.
maybe you haven't considered before. Yes, yes, yes. So Pilates, you said Pilates. And in all of my descriptions, I've said, yes, she's a Pilates instructor. What is Pilates?
Okay, good question. So Pilates is a system of movement and a series of exercises that you work with the body to lengthen, strengthen, and balance the body. So that's
Hmm.
primarily what Pilates is.
Mm-hmm.
In saying that, we work with 6 principles in Pilates, and the first one being concentration. So if we think of life and concentrating, it comes to awareness. So having a sense of awareness of every inch of your body and your spatial awareness so that
Mm-hmm.
you can move in life elegantly, safely, healthy. Yeah.
Hmm.
But also when you're actually doing the movement to focus and concentrate on what you are doing at the time, and that everything is with your breath, you're using your breath to reach into parts of your body
Mm-hmm.
that you wouldn't do if you just hold your breath and restrict yourself. It
Yeah.
allows you to open up yourself. Now, we talk about control. It was actually called Contrology by Mr.
Mm.
Pilates. And it's about being in control of your own self. So often, we have other people dictate what is our lives about, but it's
Mm-hmm.
about being in control of what you do, the space you make for yourself, the
Mm-hmm.
way that you move. Is it conscious? Is it, are you just throwing yourself around? Are you balanced in that control? Are you moving from a strong center? Is another principle, centering. So you come to your core and you access your core, whether it's your physical core, but also the whole nervous system, shunting up and down the spine, and how you're working with the inference of your nervous system with the rest of your body and with your core muscles. And then we talk about flow, which speaks of oppositional work, where you have a
Mm-hmm.
push and a pull, a yin and a yang, a reach and an eccentric and a lengthening feeling to what you're doing. So you feel stretched, but not just
Mm-hmm.
physically, but mentally stretch yourself. And then the last principle is precision. And I like to think about precision is that you're so deeply engaged that you're going in total coherence and integrity with what you had planned to do. So you're doing it precisely.
Yeah. You're
So if you
awake.
Exactly. You're
Yeah,
switched on. You
yeah,
understand? And even if
yeah.
it's for 10 seconds or a minute of the exercise, you switch it on. I like to
Mm-hmm.
tell my clients, I want you to feel like you have champagne fizzing through every cell in your body, all through your veins,
Mm,
and just feel yourself fizzing and you just feel yourself awake and alive. It's so
mm,
sensual when you embody that and then you take that into life. It's not just about an hour on a mat or in a
yeah,
Zoom class, as we've been doing lately, but it's about really embodying that as you take that into the rest of your life,
yeah.
you
So
know?
if I'm hearing you right, I'm hearing presence, being with yourself, mindfulness, awareness, being aware of your body in space and in time, like not leaving yourself, but learning how to stay, to be, to be alive. This is powerful because, like you say, so many of us walk through life in a way unaware. Like we get up, we go to work, we come back home, and we do it again. And then we wake up one day and we're just absolutely frustrated with
Yeah.
the life we've created. So you're saying Pilates is a way to open us up and stretch us out.
Yes. But if you take your Pilates to the next level, okay, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the work that I do. So if you
Mm-hmm.
come to my class, you're not just going to lie down there and do some moves and finish. You're
Yeah.
going to understand about your posture. You're going to understand about your long back, strong front, which is a theory that I use, a technique
Mm-hmm.
where you strengthen through the front of your body, you lengthen through your back, so that you
Mm-hmm.
access that length through your spinal cord. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
instead of always hunching up, you access that release. Okay, you're going to work through every movement of your body, becoming aware of yourself, but then also we're going to work deeply with your breath. And then usually I will end with a beautiful breath session, a meditation session, where you just really integrate everything that you've done. Now that you feel so open, you can
Yeah.
really feel that. Just open yourself to the divine energy, just absorb it all, you know, dwell with what's within you. And then when you come away from that, what a lot of people tell me is that they come away so focused, so clear in the brain, you feel so creative. And then I encourage people to go in now and grab your journal or grab some paper and just do some intuitive writing or some
Mm-hmm.
journaling where you just lose yourself. And then what comes up is that sense of clarity and plan and, oh, wow, new options open up to you, with that. So it's really quite a profound way that I work with the Pilates because I've brought in the life coaching with it, which I
Yeah.
actually did when I started to work a lot of people. When I moved back to England
Mm-hmm.
in 2006 and 2007, I started to work with people whom I'm still working with, a lot of them now. And I realized that a lot of people would lie there with me. Well, not with me, but I have them down. Some people couldn't even lie down because they were so restricted. They had to sit up, propped up. And when
Mm-hmm.
they access the breath and they get that release, the emotions that would be released out of that, you know, I just thought I need to equip myself with more tools to
Yeah.
take them a step further. And then that's when I did the life coaching
Life
course.
coaching.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're describing Pilates as not just an exercise. You know how we're like, oh, I want to burn some calories. I want to get my tummy back. You're
Is that
saying
too?
it's not just physical. Is that too? Okay, I
Is
can't
that
wait
too?
to hear. Tell me more. Tell us more. For
Because
those of us who are, yeah,
because you become conscious of yourself. You connect with yourself. So instead of just being lazy, you're
yes,
switched on. A lady
yes,
just came to me this morning and she said to me, Carla, it is amazing. I am not a person that slouches and stuff, but the way I hold myself and the way I feel inside myself,
mm,
that Pilates, these sessions we're having are just amazing. Now she comes to me in person in my Pilates studio here.
yeah,
And it's amazing that in person, I mean, I work a lot on Zoom, but that in person, working with the equipment, that connection that you get, and then obviously with the energy and the conversation, and then just talking through things that maybe you're going through as well in life,
mhm,
that just
mhm.
you, so that sense of yourself now, if you're switched on, you're naturally burning more calories.
There you go.
You
Wow.
hold yourself better, your clothes fit
Mm-hmm,
you better, you
mm-hmm,
start to sculpt your body to your skeleton. So it's not about lifting something that, look, I have muscles, But that
Yes.
is muscles all from Pilates. I don't lift weights. Yeah, you do that, but your muscles then tone to your body. So you have your unique shape. You don't
Right.
have a shape like everybody else. You know, it's all the in thing now to have this thing, and
Right.
you put all this glutes and this thing in your bottom. And you listen to me. If you're my age, you know that most of my life I spent trying to get my ass smaller. Excuse my French, right?
You,
Now I'm thinking, what the hell was I
you did not get that memo. That memo came out late.
thinking? You know that came out way too late for me,
Yes.
man.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, you
Wow.
go through your life thinking, oh no, this is too big, this is too... and then
Yeah.
you process this stuff, and then you sort of come into yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you get to a certain age, you come into yourself and you say, you know, you don't give a SHI, you know, anymore. You know, you just become yourself, you become your real you. You know, you
Right.
get all that armor and you shed
Right.
it, and you just
Right.
become you, and you just think, you know, well, if you don't like it, I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but this is just me. You know, I'm just here to
Yeah.
bring a little bit of love and support and choose your
So in
path kind of
some
thing.
ways, I'm also hearing you say that a practice like Pilates can help you remember who you are, come back to the center of who you really are, as opposed to all of
Definitely.
the other things that you've packed on and tacked on from other people's expectations, their decisions about who you're supposed to be coming in.
And you know, I have a quick story to tell you on that, because
Oh,
it's you hit the nail on the head.
mhm.
Whatever studio I have or I work in, I like to have mirrors. Now, a lot of people, they don't like to look at themselves in a mirror. A lot of people that I've
Mhm.
worked with, I
Yeah.
don't want to face that way, Carla. I said, no, you need to face that way, because we need to just check your alignment so that you
Mm.
can see for yourself, how do you look when you feel this way? So you could
Mm.
feel like you're straight, but you're completely crooked, because nobody is
Right.
absolutely straight, right?
Yeah.
But I try to get people as symmetrical as possible, because that's when you have one knee problem or one hip problem or one shoulder problem, because we are not symmetrical, right?
Right.
So you have to look and see how you feel. But a lot of people, because they are not themselves, they don't want to look in the mirror, because what they see is not their real self. They see an imagination, what they think they are. And
Yeah.
a lot of times they don't, you'd be surprised that how many women
Yes.
and men, even men,
Yeah.
they don't want to look in the mirror. I'm like,
Yeah.
but this is you, babes. This is you. There's no other you, you know.
Yeah.
Let's just
We have
rock
so many
you.
stories in our heads about who we are based on what other people have said, based on what we've taken in as far as what is cool, what is cute, what is beautiful, what is not. And very often when the physical form, the body doesn't fit with those descriptions, then we make stories about that too. Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And you know, the classic joke about all of that is that our perception of our bodies is not even the reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
thinking you look a certain way, and I'm saying, no, I don't find that
Hmm.
at all. What part? No,
Hmm.
I don't see, like, people will explain things about their bodies, and I'm like, not at all. I think that's not at all. That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they just, do you really think so, Carl? I said, but of course, look in the mirror, of course. And then you
Yeah.
start to see yourself how you really are. And then you start to be what you really are. Because you have
Absolutely.
this perception that you are this other thing.
Hmm.
And you come into your own. It's
I love
beautiful.
that. I love that. No, check this out. You just mentioned a word a while ago. You said la J. For the people who are not from Dominica, if you're sitting just la J, that means you're not erect. You're just like loose, and uh, the wind can take me away. But when we have a certain level of confidence and understanding of who we are, we definitely carry our bodies in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. In a
Yeah,
healthy way. In a
absolutely.
healthy way. In a resilient way.
Yeah.
You know, so if the
So
wind
so
blows, you don't get blown over.
that's right. That's right. Now, okay, so you're talking about Pilates. I heard you mention Mr. Pilates. Now, I know about Dominica and Dominica's mystical, in my view, healing properties. And it's an essence that Dominica has that, in and of itself, I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's an individual thing. I don't know if it's a combination. My sense is it's a combination of the water, the air, the trees, the mountains, the joy that we as a culture create with every pan, every weekend. Look, COVID has really hurt us because our people thrive on creating joy. Every weekend there's a CWO somewhere. Just good times, you know? Now, what do you think about that? And how do you integrate this Pilates? You'll tell us a little bit about the history, like the story of Pilates, into a culture where we're an island of shamans and bush doctors and local healers and people who rub you and who know exactly what bushes to go pound, if you have a trouble or if you have an ailment. So how do you mix that? How do you integrate
That's
that?
an interesting question. And what I would say is that I think that Dominica has a spirit of renewal, an essence of renewal that you just want to take a deep breath
Absolutely.
and sigh because you feel the air is so fresh. You feel everything has been washed clean every day because of the
Mm-hmm.
rainfall. You can
Mm-hmm.
see the dewdrops on the leaves in the mornings. You can feel the moisture on your skin. You
Yeah.
can feel that sense of renewal and rebirth and regrowth
Yeah.
everywhere you are in Dominica.
Yeah.
Dominica, also the volcanic nature of it, you almost feel like the core of the earth is close to the surface, where you can just feel at one with that energy, that creation energy. So you feel so creative in that space. So when I think of Pilates and Dominica, it sort of seems diametrically opposed because where does Pilates fit in? But the thing is that I am the Pilates instructor. I am the coach. And
Yes.
what I bring to the table is that I am Dominican.
Yes.
And even if I'm teaching in England or I'm teaching in Namibia where I taught, where I
Yes.
studied in South Africa, I taught in Namibia, it means that I bring me.
Yes.
And people come to my classes, they come to my private sessions, they come to my coaching sessions because of me. Now, there's
Mm-hmm.
only one me. Not everybody's going to
Absolutely.
want my kind of thing or want my kind of energy. Fine. I don't need billions of people to come to me.
Absolutely.
I just need the people that need me or like me or
Yeah.
want me. Yeah. Because I bring me and I bring Dominica. I bring that energy. I cannot take out the Dominica out of me.
That's
As
right.
much as I try, is I do have sometimes my little radio voice from my history. I didn't even mention that of being on radio and TV in Dominica. Obviously, when you have those kind of shows, you have to have an accent that is accessible to lots of people, you know, or to more people. But that's what I bring to it. So I bring the essence of me, which is the essence of Dominica, to
Yeah.
that. And now talking about that, that is the whole reason. I don't know if you're going there yet, but the whole reason why I wanted to do this, maybe your listeners don't know, this retreat in Dominica that I'm having, a
Yes.
Pilates retreat, and Dominicans are free to apply and come join. Go on my website,
Yes.
carlaarmour.com, carlaarmourcoaching.com. It will get you there. You'll see
Yes.
Recalibrate Your Rhythm retreat on there. Click on there, see what it's about, or listen to here
Mm-hmm.
and join us. Locals can come, foreigners can come. I have some people already signed up. And basically, what I wanted to do is I wanted to have this here so that I could infuse into a Pilates well-being adventure retreat. I could infuse into that the essence of Dominica. I could infuse into that. We're going to be doing it at Jungle Bay Resort
Mm-hmm.
and Spa. The
Yes.
concept around Jungle Bay, the story of Jungle Bay, the resilience, the rebuilding, the rebirth, the renewal, that it
Yes.
sits there. And it not only sits there, it sits in the Soufriere area, which is a sunken crater of that divine energy of creation energy. And I want to take these people that are you participants, if you join me, that are going to come there. I want to start their first day off at Kashakru,
Mm.
where our Kalinago ancestors were rowing into Dominica. And when they spotted her, they hailed, White Tikobuli.
That's
They were
right.
like, do you see how tall is her
All
body?
is
And
her
then when
body.
stand on this
Yeah.
peninsula
Yeah.
and soak up the spirits of our ancestors,
Yes.
dwell
Yes.
with our
Yes.
ancestors'
Yes.
spirits, and
Yes.
start our retreat like this.
Yeah.
Eating the foods, the local foods, the organic foods, specifically made for the menu for our retreat. Coming in and doing this body work with me. This work with the coaching work where we do our recalibration meditation sessions and creative tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then come through the day with your spa treatments, again, local ingredients with
Mm-hmm.
local therapists led by Dafrica, with
Mm-hmm.
a Jungle Bay and her team, you know, and then we will again go into the evening calibrations and feasting on these local foods again, and using every morsel of this food to nourish our heart and soul.
Mm.
This slow eating, this mindful eating of just letting
Absolutely.
every piece of flavor just wash, and sit with this. I just can't wait, and then I'm going to take our people to the hot baths. We're going to take them to the waterfalls, let them dwell in that space, in those spaces. That is Dominica.
Absolutely.
We're going to take them up to the Kalinago territory. I'm going to take them to Jacko Flats and sit with it in the space of the Negmaon spiritual
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Again, that communion. So, yes, it's a Pilates retreat, but it's more than that. It's an experience, that it's just mind blowing. And I am so excited. This is our first one. So it's my first one. I have tried to price it as low as I can with Jungle
Mhm.
Bay,
Yeah.
and I just really want to call on anyone who would like to experience that to join me and the rest of us for the 7 days. And it's from the 6th to the 13th of November. So it's
November.
coming up in a few weeks. And if you want me to help you with flights, look, I have my
Yeah.
tourism background. I can put that hat on and I can help you with anything with the Jungle Bay team to make it happen for you, because it's really going to be an opportunity for people to crawl inside of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to navigate their every cell, their
Absolutely.
every memory, whether good or bad. And let's unthread that tapestry of who you are and choose which color of thread you want to embed back into this new tapestry that you want to come away being.
That's right. We are all, I keep saying it, moving through. We're moving through it, this collective trauma event. We're going through this together. And the noise of the pain, if you're a person who can feel or sense these things, is deafening. The noise, you feel it in your body. Many people are feeling it in their body. I think spiritually, many people are opting to leave as well because the pressure and the intensity, it's like being in a blender, but you're not sure when the blender is going to stop blending. So you've got to, in a way, nurture and build resilience and
Exactly.
endurance and tolerance and strength and flexibility to be able to move and adapt and shift and change over and over and over and over again, really fast, really
Yeah.
rapidly, because you're not sure what's coming tomorrow. So who are you saying this retreat is for? I know who it's for. Look, I
So
was just in
you,
Dominica for a month. It's for me. Oh my
yeah,
goodness. I was just in Dominica for a month for this very reason, to go back to reconnect to that essence of healing. And what you're describing is exactly that. So who needs this retreat?
well, I can tell you something. Mostly everybody needs this retreat. Mostly everybody needs this retreat. But it's so really anybody, man,
Yes,
woman, anybody
yes,
who feels they would enjoy something like that. But something interesting that you just mentioned,
yeah.
this being in the blender and
Mm-hmm,
adapting.
mm-hmm,
But what some of us don't realize, and what this retreat I hope will give to people, is
mm-hmm.
that when you have to adapt and shift and modify and pivot, you are not doing all of these things, but you are actually evolving
A
in
whole set.
your unique pace
Yeah,
that serves you.
yeah,
Because you could pivot, but part of you stays there and the rest of you is going there.
That's right. That's right. That's
It's
right.
a matter of an evolutionary revolution, an
Mm.
internal revolution that takes your whole soul to evolve to a different space and
Yeah.
place and being.
Yeah. Yeah. You
This
know,
is it.
this is it. This is where transformation happens. So this is how we transcend trauma. This is how we take the thing that's happening to us and turn it into a thing that's happening for us, for our
And through
evolution.
us,
Absolutely.
for us,
Absolutely.
with us, and through us. You just
Absolutely.
said it.
You know, the thing that there is collateral damage always with trauma.
Yeah.
As these things and energies are moving through us, yeah, of course there's some damage. There's stuff that doesn't get all the way released, processed. It doesn't always go up. Sometimes the energy goes down and
Exactly.
we become ill in our body. Can you talk a little bit about that and how Pilates can help us finish that healing work?
Okay. So, two things I would say here. First of all, I recognize that I am not a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am not a medical professional. So, if I identify that somebody I am working with needs more than my work, I would immediately refer them to the person that they need to support the process that they're going through with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not, everybody has their expertise. It's just that
Right.
if somebody had a slip disc, I can work
Mm-hmm.
with them, but I want to get the doctor's report
Yeah.
and I want to give that doctor my report of how I'm working with them so that
Mm-hmm.
we're on the same page and we are helping the whole person. Yeah. So that is one way. The second thing, how I can work with them, because working with them, supporting them is also by advising them what else they need, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're a smart
Yeah.
person,
You're
you
creating a
cannot be thinking,
treatment
oh, I'm going
plan.
to
You're giving
wish
them,
I can fix this person. No,
yeah, you're
but what
creating
I
a treatment plan for their
exactly.
ultimate wellness. Yes.
But what I would say to people is that very often they need to physically release this in their physical sense.
Absolutely.
Funny enough, I had another client, and the first thing I said to her, I'm seeing some issues here. I don't want to prod, but this breath situation, there's
Mm-hmm.
something she's holding on to. We
Mm.
need to get to the bottom of that. And I wanted to do the first homework is just to learn to breathe. Funny enough, I was listening to a trauma. It wasn't actually a seminar, but it was a summit almost thing. And I was
Yeah.
listening to one of the talks. And this man was talking about how he couldn't get healed. For 12 years, he was in this back problem. And then
Mm-hmm.
eventually he went to this guru, and the guru said, first, you need to learn to breathe.
Mm.
And he never looked back. Years later, he went for another MRI.
Yeah.
Literally couldn't walk when he went to this guru, went for an MRI. He got healed.
Yeah.
Nothing changed in his body. But because he could access the release through the muscles around these discs that had slipped or whatever,
Right.
it means that he could access his body to be able to fix himself and release what was grabbing onto him. Because
Yeah.
remember, when we talk about the Stephen Porges, his polyvagus theory,
Polyvagal. Mm-hmm.
when we talk about Bessel van der Kolk with his
Yeah.
the trauma, the body's keeping the score and all that stuff,
Right.
we have to remember that we hold that physically because we
Yes.
are not in the wild anymore where you see these wild animals. Peter Levine talks about that with somatic
That's right.
experiencing as well,
Somatic. Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
you shake it off after and you shake out your body and you when you
Yeah.
see an animal play dead and then they shake it up and we don't do that. We don't
No.
allow ourselves. So if this is what somebody needs, then I have to process them through the types of movements and exercises that will access that for them.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a template, I'm just going to follow these 25.
Right.
It's for the
Mm.
client in front of me. And that's why it's so important that I see people privately. And
Yeah.
the work that I do one-to-one is so profound as well. It
Absolutely.
is so deep and profound because it gets you, man, woman, child. I tell you, I've worked with children as young as 8. I have worked with my grandmother is probably the oldest person I worked with when she was 98. I've worked with people
Mm.
with stroke, just name it. I've worked with athletes. Maybe I
Yeah.
was working with Olympic athletes.
Yes.
Um, in England, I work with footballers.
Yeah.
Premier League people. It's so even at that end where you think, oh, they are so fit, but it's the same thing. Everybody
That's
has
right.
their story. You're looking
That's
at these
right.
people, idolizing people. Everybody have their story. Everybody holding
That's right.
something somewhere.
Oh,
So that's what you do. You choose what works for that person in front of you. And even if you come to a Zoom class, you will hear me telling the people in the Zoom class, okay, for you, I need you to do a little bit more of this. Okay, release that there. You need to support yourself, whether with a cushion or with a band, because I can see you cannot access that. So you need to
mm-hmm.
release into that a little bit and let the body ease into it. And then you
Mm.
go on. It's not just a one size fits all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a healing tool. It's a healing modality.
it is.
Oh, look, I want to say thank you to all of the people who have tuned in so far. I see Miriam and Luna and Dear Rose. What's up, Mama? Hey, Roll, and Rowan Guy and Carolyn James. Greetings from TNT. Hello. My big sis, Maggie Rivera, is watching. Ladisha, you're watching. Petra, I've been loving your posts. Petra has been posting these awesome, uplifting, mindful posts about being with yourself, like staying present, feeling what you're feeling, but moving through life anyway. And I am feeling quite inspired. So I want to keep encouraging you all to keep watching, share the live. Okay. You mentioned a couple big names, and we know who these people are. So you mentioned Porges and polyvagal theory. What is that about? What is polyvagal
Well,
theory? What
okay.
what is tell us how Pilates helps with polyvagal stimulation? What is all that thing about the vagus nerve and how it helps us recover and heal? And how can
Okay.
you access it in Pilates?
Okay. Well, first of all, we remember we spoke about the core. At
Mm-hmm.
first, I talked about the core.
Yeah.
So if you consider the core and if you consider where your nervous system is and where all your nerves are running down from your brain stem and your brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember that all of these, especially the vagus nerve, which is like the wandering nerve that accesses
Mm-hmm.
every organ in our body,
Yeah.
yeah, it's also affected by breath. Okay, so you can stimulate your vagus nerve through your breath work,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that you can regulate your heart rate, you can
Yeah.
regulate your emotional state, and
Mm-hmm.
so that the nervous response, the nerve message coming back from the heart can go back to the brain and say, it's okay.
Okay.
We
Yes.
can relax. We do not have to put on where are we going to run to? What are we
Yeah.
going to do to protect ourselves? Because guess what? We have used the body to calm ourselves through the breath, through the
Yeah.
relief. Now, when we're working with the breath, we think of the muscle of the diaphragm,
Mm-hmm.
the respiratory diaphragm. Now, we have many diaphragms in the body. So we think about the respiratory diaphragm. And we also work
Yeah.
obviously with the pelvic floor, which is another diaphragm. We work with
Mm-hmm.
thoracic inlet, again, where a lot of people feel they don't have their voice,
Yes.
their opinions don't matter. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they feel they get sore
Block.
throats all the time.
Yes.
I
Yes.
used to struggle so much with tonsillitis and sore throats and losing my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I used to have such backaches, debilitating, crippling backaches. I tell you, we had a Chinese doctor here. That woman, I used to go in there being held. I don't know what
Mm.
magic that woman would do on my body. And I can tell you something. If it wasn't for Pilates, I would still be going down that road. Talk
Yeah.
about for the ladies on here, talk about menstrual cramps when your
Mm.
whole system and your nervous system is under that tension.
Yeah.
You understand? When you open up that deep psoas muscle, that deep hip flexor muscle, the muscle of flight, and you
Mm.
and you think of the fibers crossing into the diaphragm and the diaphragm affecting the heart rate and the heartbeat. Yes. And you think of the release into that center of your body. It's a whole new being
Yeah.
on a
So
physical
if
level,
we
but on a nervous level and of mind level.
Yeah. So if we can become aware of that, if we can understand how, say, our breath can almost work like a remote control for the brain
It
to
is.
tell the brain, even if you see this terrible, stressful thing in front of you, if you will change the way you're breathing as this crazy thing is happening in your life, your brain won't go haywire. You won't go haywire. You can keep yourself together. You can, this too can pass.
This too, this too, this too,
Yeah, yeah,
this too shall
that's
pass.
right. It's TOO, right?
Yes,
Wait, you
I
all
saw
saw
your
my
post.
mug. You all saw my mug post this morning. Yeah,
Also,
it
it
said
wasn't
this
made in
too
China.
shall pass. And somebody made a determination that that mug too was going to pass without its extra O. Okay.
You understand?
Yes,
I
but
laugh so much.
definitely, definitely understanding how your breath is really your life. Your breath
Exactly.
is your life,
Exactly.
and so if if you're not breathing well, what's happening to the quality of the life that you're living? And
Exactly.
how do you learn that? What does that mean? I love that you also talked about how Pilates helps particular physical ailments. I when I was pregnant with my second child, I had sciatica so bad. I had sciatica in my right, all down my right leg. Oh my God. And as the pregnancy got closer and closer to my due date of delivery, I could not walk up the steps where I lived. I had to sleep on the lower level. And so after the baby was born, though, she's 22 this year. After she was born, I really got to doing Pilates and yoga a lot.
Uh-huh.
And you want to know, that thing went away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
After a while, it went away. And I thought for sure I would have to live with this for the rest of my life. But it went away. So, what specific body ailments can Pilates heal, rectify, reset?
Well, as you said, sciatica immediately, scoliosis,
Yes. Oh.
shoulder problems,
Mm-hmm.
hip problems,
Mm-hmm.
knee problems, anything
Mm.
you see. Listen to me. A lot of people, especially in England,
Yeah.
clients will come to our studio pre-operative
Mm.
to get them in the healthiest state as possible. If they have to have a
Right.
knee surgery, certain things you have to have the surgery. Okay?
Right.
But what we try to do is to get the person so strong and so ready that when they have the surgery, their body is in the optimum.
For recovery.
You understand? Because what ends up
Yes.
happening, they have this bad knee.
Yeah.
So they are favoring using one side all the time. What
Mm-hmm.
happens there? Then your body gets more and more misaligned. So it's
Right,
just
right,
waiting for the
right.
next injury to happen.
Right,
Right?
right, right,
So you
right.
need to realign yourself. Scoliosis is a master. I work with so many people with scoliosis. I myself have scoliosis, a level of
Mm.
scoliosis, but not because I had a bad fall. It wasn't
Yeah.
something that I was born with or grew with. I had a really bad fall and my spine is twisted, so I have a level of it. But I
Yeah.
have worked with people with scoliosis for years, and
Mm.
I'm telling you something. Sometimes that can be it's debilitating,
It's debilitating.
so
It's debilitating.
painful, and the muscles are like they're twisting and then they're tangling and they're rotating all
Mm-hmm.
in your back, in your lower back, in your upper back. Then the hip starts to elevate and rotate, and it just is a hot mess. But
Mm.
it's about sitting with somebody and starting with their feet.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I will really
Mm.
press. Okay, where are you
Right.
feeling this most? From in your feet.
Right, right,
And
right.
then we start in Pilates with equipment work, we start with a lot of footwork. And even in my mat work, I always start with the standing and working through each bone of the feet so that you
Mm-hmm.
can start accessing evenly through the
Yes.
joints of your feet. And then you start to lift your arches. You start to strengthen those arches. So then they strengthen the knees.
Yeah.
Then it strengthens the placement in the hips.
And you move up.
Then your pelvis moves into place.
Like
Then the
building a
lower back
house.
moves into place.
Yeah.
It's just like a domino effect. But a lot of people just
Yeah.
think, okay, my shoulder. I'm like, I know about your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
but you are a whole person. It's no point
Yes.
that you come to me and I'm just working on a shoulder, is it? I need
Yes.
to
Yes.
work on the whole person. So, I mean, any ailment really, What I find is that also with the cueing with Pilates, so
Mm-hmm.
the terminology that I would use or the way I would ask people to do something,
Right.
it will help them to access a movement that maybe they have a particular block against.
So
Because
you're
you know
talking
your
about
body.
like a sequence, like what step, what next move you direct them to? Is that
Exactly.
what you mean? Got
That
you.
way, or even say, for instance, if I'm cueing you and I said, okay, so lift lift your foot.
Mm-hmm.
But if you cannot access that because you have a drop foot because of a sciatic,
Right.
very bad sciatica,
Right.
um, what you want to think about is, okay, can you lengthen your leg?
Mm.
So can you access movement from a different, so it's not what
Right.
you would normally hear and do.
Right. Right.
You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Right.
you
I do. I
access it
do.
through cueing. Okay, can you feel this? Can you
Yeah.
feel inside of that? Can you open up through that area? You understand? Can you rotate that as
Yeah.
opposed to turn that?
Got you. Got
You
you.
understand?
So almost
Little
like
things
breaking
like
it
that.
down step by step until you can get to the full motion.
Exactly.
Ay,
Exactly.
ay,
Or
ay.
even if
Very
you
good.
don't get to the motion, you
Mm-hmm.
can intention the motion because you know studies
Got
have
you.
proven that you
Yes.
can intention an exercise and you
Yes.
do get benefit. They did a study
That's
and
right.
it's they got 60% benefit or doing that. I really must get the study and post it. And
Yeah.
as the people that actually did the exercise by sitting down and intentioning it. There's a story about a man intentioning to play the piano, and then he could play the piano when he came to play the piece because he
Yes.
thought it
Yes.
through, right? So
Yes.
how the
Yes.
brain
Yes.
works so that you can access
That's right.
different pathways. So if your body is
Absolutely.
holding the score, the scar
Yes.
of a trauma, of
Mm-hmm.
a past incident, and you cannot visit that space because every
Yeah.
time you think that it could be maybe a rape, it could be an abuse, it could be
Absolutely.
a neglect, it could be something, an accident.
Mm-hmm.
And if your body is not comfortable because it's still holding that fear, it
Mm-hmm.
means you need to access that from a different language.
Yes. 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 Yes.
You know, otherwise it's too familiar and you will hold up against that language.
Yeah.
So I need to access that from a different language. So when I'm doing coaching, like when in a retreat and we're doing certain sessions and people want to work through issues, we're not going to just move with it. We're not just going to breathe with it. We're going to write through it. We're going to draw through it. We're going to, whether it's collage through it,
Come at it from
from
every
different
which way.
angles that you
Yes.
feel like
Yeah.
doing, you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that you can access your opening.
You know, you talk about, you talked a little while ago about certain areas of energy blockage in the body that correspond to some illnesses. What are some examples that you have found and like seen in clients over the years? Like,
Um, Usually, I would say, well, that's a very basic one. Um, if somebody is presenting with a lot of shoulder issues,
mm-hmm,
I would ask them if they are the first in the family.
mm, that sense of burden, that sense of
Yeah.
I have so much on
Or
my shoulders.
they are the one that takes on the most responsibility. And they always look at me, why do you say that?
Mm-hmm.
So that they gripping themselves, they're holding the world on their shoulders, they're
Yeah,
misplacing the joints. You know,
yeah,
they have, and then they're getting the neck issues because
yeah,
they're getting the tightness there. So the shoulder, the neck, and it is creeping, and they cannot hardly move.
yeah,
You know, a lot of women who are feel that they're super women do it
yes.
all. I used to be one of those people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People think I
I
still
love
am
it.
like that. I'm
Used
not.
to. Used to. I love it.
You know, do it all. If you want something done, ask Carla, she'll get it done. But you know, sometimes you have to learn to draw boundaries. Took me 50
That's right.
years, but
Yeah. You
but now I
got it.
understand how to draw those boundaries and completely
Yeah,
just part the Red Sea and say,
yeah,
okay, that's what's allowed in and not allowed in. But
absolutely.
that's one thing I would say. Some people would have a stress that they feel that they cannot get out of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, or
Hmm.
maybe something like a marital affair, somebody's
Yeah,
being abused or something like that,
yeah,
where a lot of times they would have a lot of problems in their womb area, in their lower back. sometimes
Yeah.
in their knees. You will see their knees start to collapse in,
To buckle.
and it's very subtle. And then the minute I start to work with that, and they start to wake up into that pelvic floor and
Yeah.
feel their sensuality and
Yeah.
feel their feminine power
Yeah.
and their sense of courage and grounding. It's like,
Yeah.
whoa, I have a choice.
Oh, this is beautiful. Beautiful. That feminine power of us feminine human beings on the planet can get um, overtaken many times, dominated, because many of us, well, really, I don't know a culture on the planet right now where women aren't almost in a way number two.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Many
Hmm.
people tell us what to do. They try to tell us how to do it, where we should do it, if we can do it, all of that stuff. And
Yeah.
very often, when we say no, or very often, even before we can speak to say yes or no, they subsume our will. Yeah. So, okay. Um, how do you, because this is for when we talk about who is this workshop for, this workshop is for you. If I just spoke to you, this workshop is for you. If you've ever felt as if your will, your sense of power, your voice has been cut off, taken away from you, or just subsumed, overtaken. hmm And that happens when we're kids, little girls. Happens to little boys too.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're,
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
older human beings who have more physical power and who have more psychological power because they've been on the planet longer. They know how to use their words to get us to say yes to
Hmm.
things that we probably didn't even mean to say yes to. All of that is coercive and very, very damaging
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
not just the body, because we are body, mind, and spirit.
Spirit. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
spirit. So many of us are walking around on the planet. We're not sure if we should trust divine, most high. Why? Because where were they? Where was that energy or that force, some of us say, when I really needed them? Many of us are walking around mentally like, I don't believe I'm worthy, I'm not good enough. If I were good enough, why did these things happen? Why did this happen? Sometimes we cannot speak it. And you know what? The tongue cannot give voice to your body. It's going to definitely manifest it. Yeah. So I am talking to you not just if you're in Dominica, especially if you're in Dominica, because I feel as if this is almost, I'm going to say it, epidemic. I think if you were in a room out of 10 women, I'm not sure what the statistics are worldwide, but I'm sure there might be at least 6 to 7
Hmm.
girls,
Hmm.
human beings in that room
Hmm.
who've had that experience.
Hmm.
And so I'm talking to you. You are who needs to be calling Carla like, plus vite que possible, meaning faster than
Yes.
possible.
Yes.
We should have been calling yesterday. Okay.
But you know the other
But
side of that coin, Trifi,
yeah.
that there are these women as well who have recognized this has been done to them. So two things I wanted to comment on there.
Mm-hmm.
As Maya Angelou says, when we know better, we do better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when we
Yeah.
have it in our mind that where were you then?
Yeah.
Oh, why did this happen to me? We have to remember at that point we didn't have the tools.
That's right.
Now we have the tools, we can do it.
That's right.
Okay. That is why I also speak to body, mind, heart, and soul.
Yeah.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of people forget about the importance of the emotional regulation
Yeah.
to help the mind to settle.
Absolutely.
Because you can
Yeah.
pray and pray and pray and pray, but if you haven't accessed that regulation in your emotional state,
Yeah.
you are closed up to the divine in you, because the divine is in you. He breathes his
Absolutely.
breath in us.
Absolutely.
You see, it's in
Yeah.
us. Now,
Yeah.
the other thing I was going to say about the women, now these women are shut down, whatever, but you know what? They found themselves in a situation that, well, I don't have a choice. So I have to do this for this, and I have to do this for this person, and that for that, and my business has to be running, and everything has to be changing. And they are so overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and they're trying to do everything all at once.
For
You know,
everybody else. outside of
and for
themselves.
everybody else. Exactly. And then things, this is also a workshop. This retreat is for that person too. For us to go through your plans and your goals. What
Yeah.
life do you want in the areas of your life? It's the first thing, even before you come, before you arrive, you're going to get that little worksheet,
Yeah.
to think of on your way there, on your first night or whatever, of just going through your life domains and where do you really see yourself in the next 12 months or after this retreat, and what you want out of this retreat. And then once we get there, we're going to start taking this and seeing where it is, where are the stumbling blocks. One of the things we're going to do as well is we're going to do a collage or writing. We're going to prepare something or a letter or something, and then we're going to have a fire circle ceremony where we're going to burn these and let these, dismiss them, dissolve all these distractions and these demons in our life, in our past, and take from that all the resources, the strength and the power that we have gleaned out of these incidents and experiences, and use them to our benefit.
That's right.
Yes,
Elevate.
exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
wow. Oh
So it's
wow.
for
Oh
those
wow.
people as well that really feel, okay, I've had to have my voice, I've learned, but you know what? They have their voice like that suit of armor they would be wearing. They're
Yes.
wearing
Yes.
that suit of armor and they're
Yes.
bracing themselves
Yeah.
and have a big
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where am I at the end of the day? Who is,
Yeah.
I just want to take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
just want to come up for air, come up for air with this retreat. That's what you're going to do. Come up for air with this retreat.
I maintain that one of the gifts of this COVID time is that we've all been almost sent to a mandatory timeout, where if you're wise, you will use this time of slow down to go inside and do this digging, this excavating, this cleaning, this resetting, looking at what is it that I want to keep, what needs to be washed off. And yes, okay, I can take it back in, but I got to clean it out before I put it back in. And what just needs to be excommunicated, cut off,
You
so I
understand?
can really be who I'm called to be on the planet. I
Amen.
cannot be, it really cannot be that I just came here to wash other people's clothes or to teach other people's kids. Like that's all. That cannot be all because I'm also here. I'm not just a thing or a tool. I am a being, a being.
Mhm, mhm,
So
mhm,
I have to spend time to learn who I am.
mhm, mhm.
And Lord Jesus, if we cannot do it now, in a time where, I mean, we have time
This
now.
is
We
the
have
time. Yeah, this is the time. And you said something really interesting, and I wanted to stick a pin in there, um, because not only are we thinking about very often about all of these things we're doing, and you hear a lot of work. I don't know if you've read the Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu.
time. Mm-mm.
Anyway, so they
Tell
talk
me.
in there about a lot of stuff about gratitude and
Yeah.
compassion and all of this stuff. And it was something that I had worked on with some ladies, and I let them did this exercise of celebration. And then when I
Mm,
was reading the book, I came across this chapter on celebration,
yes.
because so often we are grateful for what is in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
but we so rarely take the opportunity to celebrate what we have come through and what we have accomplished.
Yes.
And it's not about being selfish or being all self-absorbed. It's about
Yeah.
just recognizing your own worth.
It's
Yes, I'm
honesty too.
grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. I am
Yeah.
grateful that I am here where I am. But
Yeah.
also, we need, us women, we need to be able to celebrate ourselves.
I
You
think
know,
it's a bit of honesty too, because again, many systems have taught us to be humble, but it's a false humility that, in a
exactly.
way, tells you and encourages you to deny the allness of who you are.
Mhm.
Cut some of it off. Don't talk too loudly. Don't shine your light too much. You'll embarrass so and so. Why you so sure? Let somebody else do it. There's enough for all of us.
For
There's
all of
enough
us.
for all of us. There's enough to go around. And early on, you talked about this, like understanding your uniqueness. Yes, 20 people can do the same task, but they will each do it in
20
their way.
different ways. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you have to understand that there are people, right, who can only take stuff from you. They can only receive it from you. All right. They need to hear it from you. They need you though to be your true self.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or
Exactly.
else what they're getting isn't you. They're getting something else.
Exactly. And actually, I have a 14-week quest. It's on my
Yeah.
website as well, which is called Nobody Does You Better. Okay. So anybody, if they can't come to the retreat, they
You
can
got to
come and
go
work
to
with
that
me like
website.
that.
Please tell us the website again. Tell us the website where they need to go.
CarlaArmorCoaching.com. Or you can just
Carla
put
Armour.
CarlaArmor.com and it will
There you
get you
go.
there as well.
All
And I can
right.
tell you something, it's just exactly that,
Yeah.
to help, to listen to me. You just see what you just said? I have heard that so often. Oh, you are just a drama queen. Oh, you always
Mm-hmm.
think this. Oh, da, 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stop and I say, well, when did I do that? And when did
Yeah.
I ever do that? That it was the wrong thing that I did, or that it
Yeah.
hurt you, or
Yeah.
it damaged your life in
Was
some
it
way. And then you
unethical, immoral, or illegal? What I did?
exactly. When have I done that? No, I am not right. So it's just, but you hear those things from the time you're a
Yeah.
child, from
Yeah.
the time you're a child, and even from people that don't realize how damaging this is when they say this to you. So
Mm-hmm.
if parents are saying this to children, and I mean,
Garbage.
I worked with this guy, and I said to him, I'd asked him something because I just felt his self-worth was just not there. And I said,
Yeah.
what, how did you grow up at home? And he said, well, my mother had a lot of children, and by the time I woke up in the morning, they just tell me, come out from there, go outside. Come out from there, you're in the way. And he
Yeah.
would just sit by the step, on the side of the step, the
Yeah.
whole day, just there, feeling that nobody wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, I mean, this guy is crackhead and
Mm-hmm.
thieving and wondering why.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has
Mm-hmm.
no self-worth. He does not know where to go. He has
Yeah.
no access to his assets.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
see, he cannot access these beautiful divine assets that we are made in the image and likeness of God and
Yeah.
breathe the divine breath into us, but yet we feel we're not good enough to celebrate.
Mm, 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 mm,
How is
mm.
that?
So your retreat is a way for us all to remember,
You
an
know,
opportunity to remember. Look, I am so
what time is
grateful.
it? Oh my God.
It is 8:02. Look at us. Look at us. It is 8:02. I am so grateful to you for sharing this hour with me, with us. Um,
Such a pleasure.
it is a pleasure. It is a pleasure. It's a reminder for me to pay attention to my own breath, to the way I use my breath. We there's information, and life can happen, and you can forget, or you can become distracted, or you can want to go back to old wiring, old programming, because you think it's faster, and slowing down my breathing might take a little bit too much time. Look, I believe it is so important though to slow down so that you can actually speed up.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
slow down to
yeah.
be able to speed up because you just get such a boost. So much is unblocked that the elevation is instant, it's
Mhm.
instant. Yeah.
It's beautiful. But it's
So,
been a pleasure being on with you. I mean,
yeah.
I used to interview people before in my past life. And
Before you go,
it's,
tell us a
it's,
little bit about that. Remind us. No, remind us. No, we got like 5 minutes of fun. What do you want
did
us
you
to know?
not
Tell us
know that
about. I
I used
remember your
to
name. I remember the name.
do Good Morning Dominique. I used to host Good Morning Dominique on Marpin
Oh
at six
man.
o'clock in the
All
morning.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, yes, I used to do it with Lennox Linton, and we were.
Yes,
It started when the show started. Yes, I was the co-host, and then we did different days. Yeah, I
yes,
did that. So it was so much fun interviewing people, and then but it's
yeah.
such a hard job because you really have to. I still have to meet the people before and really get the
Get a
juice
sense.
flowing because some people are not so forthcoming because they're very
Right,
shy.
right, right, right,
So this
right.
is such a nice conversation. It's not an interview,
Absolutely.
it's a conversation. So it's
Full
really such a
healing
pleasure to be
conversation.
here tonight.
Just meaningful, healing conversations, Dominica is so, I love what you said about Dominica. That little T-shirt where they said, "No matter where I am, my heart is in Dominica." The essence of Dominica's is in me. I know it. I feel it. I use it in my sessions without even meaning to, you know. And there's a through line of healing and restoration and rejuvenation and magic about Dominica that I think makes the work you do
Yeah.
unique,
Yeah.
unique because you're the
Mm.
tool. You've become the
The
tool.
two. Yeah.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
become the
Yeah.
healing tool.
And
So what do you?
even my studio here, I mean, I
Mhm.
am in the rainforest. I am up in Porges.
Mm.
That's one of the things that is just so
Yeah,
healing. You can hear the
I can
nightlife.
see. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, my studio's on the ground floor, so you just look out into the garden and it's just the flowers. And it's like, I had a client yesterday and she was like doing exercise. She goes, "Oh my gosh, you need to paint a picture of this."
Oh,
Look at it. She's looking in the mirror and seeing the view in behind her of just
yes.
all of these flowers and everything. And it's just so
Yes.
healing. It's so calming, you know, and just focusing on you for that time and your healing, you know.
Hmm.
So I just encourage everybody to just take some time. It doesn't have to be an hour, it doesn't have to be more than 10 minutes to just sit with themselves and do their breath work, do
Yeah.
some nice slow breathing, and just go through their body and just release any tension in their neck and shoulders, in their faces. Just feel that
Yeah.
release in the chest, in the rib cage. Just feel that release into the arms and the legs. Just feel that pelvic floor release. You know, just feel your feet grounded on the floor. And just try to climb inside of yourself. You know, just let everything else be still on the outside. And just slow that breath nicely. Just calm ourselves. And then we come out of that, we can just get a book, or before we start, just get a book or some pieces of paper and just write the thoughts that come to you. Write how much you love yourself. Write how much you're grateful for things in your life, what you have to celebrate, you know, what you have come through,
Hmm.
what's happening with you, through you, for you, and not to you, you know.
Absolutely.
And then maybe just write a quick note on your phone and thank somebody. Thank two or three
Mhm.
people. Just say, you know, I just love having you in my life because you
I'm going
make
to
me
send
such
an
a better
appreciation
person.
right now to everybody who has joined the live. I'm going to write it right. Look at me, y'all. I so appreciate you for joining us tonight. One love, yo.
One love, yo. I've been trying to deal with my phone, but I'm no good at doing phone and
Boom,
interview at the same time.
boom,
Boom. Okay.
boom. That's the beauty of
Awesome
technology.
stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for
I would
having
love
me,
to
and thank you
keep
to the
talking with
listeners.
you. I love you know, you're free to sit with a sister and have some more healing conversations over time as we do
Oh,
this. My intention with this Therapy Thursday it started off last year with Trauma Transformers Tribe. So in the middle of COVID,
I'm a
trying
member.
desperately to figure out what to do, right? Will is going nuts. And everybody's isolated for the first time in our whole lives. We've never had this in our existence where we've had to go seclude ourselves to our little homes and that's it. And I was like, well, what can I do? What can I do so I don't feel this chakra right here just blocked and I'm feeling like, I can't speak. I can't talk about my feelings. So I did a little 8-week trauma transformation
Oh, nice.
series. Yeah. And about 8 to 10 women signed up. Most of them were from Dominica. I was like, yes, let us do this. And then just over the year and a half, right now, we've just kept on talking and sharing.
Yes.
And Thursday has turned out to be a good day to sit and share and talk
Yes.
and heal each other. You talk about being in the wild. In those days, we'd sit around the campfire or
Yeah.
some,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I miss that. I really do miss that.
Yeah,
Really, really do miss that.
yeah,
But I mean, it's coming. I think soon we will all be quite immune because we have quite a bit of
absolutely.
COVID. But it's up to you to be safe as well, to keep yourself
Mhm.
safe, you know, to
Yeah,
practice your safety. your physical, let's give a little space, which you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Washing your hands, which we should have always been doing. I don't know how
Right.
a pandemic has to tell us to wash our hands, but so many people didn't wash their hands before. And, and just not being up in people's faces, wearing your mask if you are close up, and test. I mean, I test regularly enough so that I know, because I'm working with people in person, and I need to know that I'm not COVID. I don't have COVID, so I can't spread it to people. The worst thing I want to do is to spread it to somebody and then they go give it to an older person,
Right.
and so just be responsible. So if you know you have it and somebody you've been in contact with, you just immediately contact them and say, look, I'm a little bit, you want to think about going for a test or something, but some people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's up to you if you want to get vaccinated or not. Everybody has their choice, and I personally am vaccinated, and that's the choice I take. So I can feel safer around my mom and my mother-in-law and people that are older, that it's not as easily transmissible if you are. And I mean, I have so many vaccines because I used to live in Africa, and from the time you're a child, you have vaccines. So, I mean, COVID is nothing new. It's just this version of it is
Iteration.
But so it's not like it's something that's just out of the blue that they were working on. They've been working on this shot. It really should just be called a COVID shot. It's, because then you need a booster. So I think just the wording maybe has thrown people off to think if it's not that, just call it that. When you go to get yours, just call them getting a shot, a flu shot, which is what it is, So but for a specific type of virus, So I just wish everybody health out there, to stay safe, and their families as well to stay safe, and keep moving, keep breathing well, healthy in the fresh air. And you too, Trippy. I wish you were joining us.
You're so welcome. As we end tonight, one of the gifts, another gift from Dominica, is understanding the language of longevity. Us having produced, nurtured, fed, watered so many centenarians, to the point where we had the second highest number of centenarians in the Western Hemisphere, a little island, right, of less than 300 square miles. And
it's amazing.
It's amazing, and longevity is about, two of the biggest factors are social engagement, connecting, communing, being with, and social support, having people you can call, my auntie, my nene, my godmother. I don't have it. Somebody will help me with a little piece. Over here, I have somebody I can talk to. So that feeling of never being alone. And I know it's challenging right now because many of the frameworks we had that allowed us to do that, we cannot do it. Yes, but you know what? We can choose to. Energy, you just change energy. So we can go down with the energy and be like, oh, large, right? We can be large, like, I don't know what else to do. Or we can go up with it, figure out, create, design new ways of being with each other and being there for each other. So that's what I hope these tools, digital tools, help us to do. And I cannot wait for you to go to carlaarmour.com on a digital tool that you will use to be able to heal yourself. Okay?
Yes.
Connect. All right. So thank you, Mama, for being here.
Thank you, my sweet. Such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
Good night. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, good night. We had such a nice session with when was it last time we had a session
with Dr. Simone?
Dr. Simone.
Right,
I always want to call her Sharon. I know it's not Sharon. Stenhouse. That's why I mixed up Stenhouse and the Simone. Yes, Dr.
I am grateful to her for connecting us.
Yes,
so, we had never met before.
Yes,
and so, Doc, thank you. Back to the idea of building community and staying connected and widening our circle, stretching.
Yes.
Stretch. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace. One love.
That's right. One love, y'all.
Have a great week. weekend.
That's right.